Good morning from another beautiful cold day in Jerusalem. It's now 17 degrees, which is really cold there in Israel. 17 degrees Fahrenheit. Celsius, it's around 75 degrees, no, 65 degrees Fahrenheit. For us, it's freezing, but I love that weather. I'm still with short sleeves t-shirt, and we're heading now to Jaffa Gate, and to from there to the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. Then it's like a walking tour, and I will try this time to take the short way through the market. Sorry about the noise. Sorry about the noise again. It sounds like a very, very annoyed truck driver, and then others. But we will continue. Is it okay? Then we will go through the walls until we will reach the Jaffa Gate, and from there we will enter to the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. But I want you to see the street until the end of the 19th century. For that, I will use the pictures that are here on the wall. And what you can see here, it's the wall that we're gonna go. Actually, we will be able to touch it. And you can see the main street that leads to Jaffa Gate. And another thing that you can see here is a clock tower. We can see that clock tower right here. It was built by the Turkish to memorize the 25th year of the Sultan. Here it's the same street, you can see the same shops, but the clock tower is not there yet. It means that it's before 1906. At the first few minutes, the sun will be in our eyes. I will try to walk at the shaded part, but I'm not sure that we will be able to do that. What you can see here is the remain of the moat from the Crusade time, and this is the northern wall of the city, the corner of the northern wall and the western wall of the city, not the Wailing Wall, not that western wall of the temple. And today we will follow Duncan, freeman, which actually he bought a Jerusalem cross for me, and I will bless it in so many places. And if you want to have your own cross, it can be Latin cross, a Greek Orthodox one, or Jerusalem cross. Just go into the description of that video, and you will find the link for Buy Me a Coffee. And there you can actually get more information, or you can ask me via YouTube or Facebook or Instagram. All of them you will find at the description as well. Then Jerusalem cross, it's unique to Jerusalem. You can see the main cross is Jerusalem, the center of the word, and the four others can be whatever you want. 4 Gospels, altogether 5 stigmatas, and everything of fire, America, Asia, whatever you will choose. But the idea is that the main one is Jerusalem. Why Jaffa Gate? Why not David Gate? Why not Halil Gate? Well, choose whatever you want, because all of those names are the names of Jaffa Gate of today. Let's start with Jaffa Gate because it leads to Jaffa, and I am reaching Jerusalem from Jaffa, which is Tel Aviv today. If we will continue straight ahead that way, we will reach Bethlehem and Hebron, and this is the Arabic name of it because it used to be the main road to, until today actually, to Bethlehem and Hebron. Halil means Hebron. David Gate is mainly because the Crusaders call it David Gate because of the fortress that you can see in front of you which until today it's called David Citadel, which it's a wrong name because the one who built it was King Herod, and because it's the highest place of the city, he protected himself from them. Remember, King Herod was afraid that someone will kill him. Then in that case, 3 names to that gate. But the gate itself is new. It's new because that city been destroyed so many times. It was built at the 16th century by Suleiman the Magnificent, actually at 1538, which is 449 years for the Hijra, for the Muslim time. Then in that case, 16th century, and I'm talking about not only the gate, I'm talking about the rest of the gates and the walls of the city. Alright, remember the picture that I showed you. In a way, the houses that attached that wall was all over the place, and the street was a little bit to the right of it. They're gone now. Another thing that is not here anymore is the clock tower, which is gone too. When the British entered the city in 1817, about a month from now, exactly 1 month from now in December, they actually looked at the shops and said, wow, we are looking for the holy city, and the shops are not holy. So just like Jesus, they turned them down. The clock, that was a little bit later than 1817 and 1917. I think in 1922, Roland Stores, the government, or the British government of the city, didn't like it. He said that it's ugly. Then in that case, he turned it down too. Let me show you some remarks of the shops that have been here. Right, can you see the line of the roof of one of the building? That's one. ישר, תלך לשם, מגיע ליפו.
רחוב יפו.
כן. רגע, לאן את צריכה להגיע?
במשרד האוצר.
אז זה שם, זה פה, זה העיר העתיקה. זה שער יפו. She needed to be at Jaffa Road. You already know where Jaffa Road. Here it is. You can see the mark of another gate, of another building. Then now it's clear, it's open. You can see every part of the western wall of the city, and of course of Jaffa Gate. Before we will enter the gate, through the gate itself, let's see what's happening here. That one thing that we already know, that this is the fortress that built originally by King Herod, but everyone who controlled the city used it as his fortress. For example, you can see a minaret, which is not from the time of King Herod. This is from the Ottoman time. But you can see a road, and someone yesterday wrote me, how dare they? It's a holy city. Why cars are entering into the holy city? Then let's start with that I agree with you. I will be happy if it will be less crowded, at least with cars, and polluted with the car. But if you want to blame someone, then let's blame the Ottomans and the Germans. What? What's wrong with the Germans? In 1898, Kaiser of Prussia, the Kaiser of Germany, William II, and his wife, Augusta Victoria, came to Jerusalem, and they said, we're not going to walk into the city. You, my dear Ottomans, will open a road for us. And that's what they did. They filled the moat and destroyed part of the wall. And from that moment, we do have a car here. The Kaiser entered with his car, and now so many others are doing it as well. Then let's leave it, let's block it, because it's supposed to be a moat and a wall. And let's look at the gate, and let's talk about gates. Gates was supposed to be the entrance to the city, but is it? Because if I can enter to the city, soldiers can enter to the city too. Enemies can enter to the city too. And that's not so good, I must say. Then in that case, when they build it against the enemy. Because if there's no enemy, they can actually build just like that, an entrance, not a gate. Then, in that case, the same one who built the wall, Suleiman the Magnificent, built that wall himself, and you can see the inscriptions about it to tells us that he did it. But the decoration is not an Ottoman decoration. Everything that you see here, the flowers, the arches, the Corinthian capital, are from churches that they find here. But if we are an enemy and we are trying to enter, we do have some problems. The first one is we have to go in, but we cannot go in straight. We have to turn left. And most of the people who held, let's say, guns, used to be right-handed. Then in that case, it was very difficult to enter to the city. Secondly, look at the doors. Oops, sorry. Made of wood and covered with metal, with iron. Then in that case, still difficult to go in. If we're talking about that, until 1860, the doors were closed at nighttime. They opened it only at daytime. Only when the Russians forced the Ottomans to open it, they opened part of it at nighttime as well, because that was the main entrance to the Christian quarter outside the city. And in 1860, a lot of the institute were already outside the gates. But we reached the door. We're trying to open it. Look at the kind of the balcony above it. You can see that there's no floor. And from there, hot water, hot oil, boil water. I can tell you that the soldier didn't enjoy that down there. In that case, it was another way to stop them. And what about the ambassador? Look at that. Guns, cannons. Then it was quite difficult to defend it. Oh, it was easy to defend it, but it was difficult to conquer it. Now let's enter to the city, and welcome to the old city of Jerusalem. Oops. If you're entering to the city, then at the left side, right there, climb the stairs and you will find toilets for free. Then if you need toilets, here it is. There's so many things to talk about it. About who is buried in those graves. Maybe the one who built the wall and the Sultan decided to kill them and to leave them there because the wall was magnificent. He wanted anyone to build a replica of it or another beautiful walls like that. Let's look at the map. What you can see here is the old city. That part is the Muslim quarter. That part is the Christian quarter, and we are there. Armenian quarter and the Jewish quarter. Tower David is right here, and we enter through it, through there, Jaffa Gate. We will go all the way to the Jaffa Gate, and this time we will continue until the Moristan Street, and we will enter to the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. Let's do that. And Duncan, we are walking with you. It's quite early, but it's Thursday. Thursday is a day of the Torah. The Jews are reading the Torah on Monday, Thursday, and Saturday. And Monday and Thursday, we have at the Western Wall, the Wailing Wall, Bar Mitzvah ceremonies. And a lot of the Jews are heading now to the Western Wall for that. Bar Mitzvah is when you are reaching 13 years old, and being for the boys, and they will be able to read the Bible in front of everyone for the first time. At age 13, there will be, there are not children anymore. Now the market that you see here in David Street is empty because of two reasons. The first one, Corona. There's COVID-19 here, and the tourists are allowed but not allowed to reach Israel. So many regulations, so many no's. Then, for example, only 2,000 tourists can enter in a day or in a week, which is nothing. That's why I'm not working from almost 2 years now. And but I'm working. You are my family. I'm doing it because I cannot stop guiding you. The second reason is that it's a little bit early now. Then the Israelis are not here. But compared to regular days, it's quite crowded again. The day of Bar Mitzvahs. One option to reach the Church of the Holy Sepulchre is through the Christian Quarter Street, which is right there. And I promise you to do that in the quickest way, but I cannot. Then just go, let's say 300, 400 meters, and then turn right to St. Helen Church. We will go through the Morriston because it's more beautiful. And until I reach the city, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know where I'm gonna go. The only thing that I knew that I promised Duncan to bless it at the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. But when I'm standing in front of the city walls, something happened to me. And I'm becoming a different person. And that different person is taking you soon, again, another option to reach the church, but he's taking you from the Morriston Street, mainly because it's more beautiful and it's so quiet now. Yeah, except for me, of course. I can hear French language behind me. Are they tourists or French Israelis going to the Western Wall? If they will turn left, I will know that they are going to the church, and they might be not Israelis. Yeah, they might be not Christians or tourists. They will go to one of the Bar Mitzvah parades. Here it is. We will now turn to the left, but I want you to see the Morriston Street sign. And I want to know where they're going to. Yeah, it looks like they're going to the Western Wall. They're citizens of Israel. Oh, at least that's what I think. Morriston, in Persian, it's hospital, and That is the center of the city. We went through the main road from west to east, and there's another main road from north to south, not so far away from here. It's called Decado, and yeah, let's go from there. And when they meet each other, that is where the agora, that's where the main square used to be, and the Church of the Holy Sepulchre is part of it. The Hospitallers were here too. The Templars were here too. Then the Hospitallers took care of the sick people. Hospital Maurice done. Look how beautiful is that square. Belongs to the Greek Orthodox. And we are already at the Christian Quarter. The minute we enter to Jaffa Gate, look at the blue sky. Look at the blue sky. Unbelievable. They're renovating now the entrances to the Moristan. We are following now the Franciscan monk. And for the one who always write me that I'm not mentioning the word Catholic, then here it is. Catholic, 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 Catholic. And when I love when he actually writes to you, he said he doesn't mean say Catholic. Then let me tell you something. And that's going to be the last time that I will deal with it. I am a messenger. I hate no one, including you. I'm promoting Catholics, Greek Orthodox, Armenians, Russian, Coptic, name it, Jews, Muslims. The idea of mine is to merge that belief into one, but not in a way that I will force you to convert yourself, in a way that I will ask you to respect the other religion. And of course I respect the Catholic. All right, did I answer your question, please? But this is not a Catholic church. Well, it's a Catholic church as well, but not only a Catholic church, it's a church that belongs to everyone. Remember that I mentioned everyone? I didn't mention some of the Protestant, mainly because we do have another option for the tomb of Jesus, and I took so many videos of it. It's called the Garden Tomb. I'm not going in now to what is and which one is the site itself, but I can tell you for sure that that place was outside the walls at the time of Jesus. And another thing that people usually ask me, how can that there is a church on top of the tomb? What I want you is now to delete every building that you see here. There is only a quarry here and a small hill, Calvary, mainly because that small hill wasn't good for the quarry. The stones weren't so good. Then in that case, when King Herod died, people started to buy lands outside the city or to bury their dead, because every Jew is buried outside the city. Then in that matter, what I want you to understand, it was a quarry. After Jesus died, it was a kind of a cemetery, and then later on the Romans used it as the crucifixion place, a crucifixion place. True or not, I don't know. I didn't find any evidence for that, but I didn't find any evidence that said that it wasn't here. And when St. Ellen came to here, only 300 years later, she followed the tradition. And let me tell you something. When I will take my daughter to Ground Zero, New York, she will ask me the same question. How do I know that the Twin Towers were there? For you, it's obvious. We do have pictures, we do have everything, videos, or you can even use my videos of it. But at the ancient time, the only way to memorize places is to tell it to your children. And I'm sure that the first Christians came to here and tell their children, although the Romans built here a temple, a Roman temple, Jesus was crucified there and he was buried here. Then in that matter, guys, it might be the correct place. What you see here is mostly 12th century remains, mainly because that church been destroyed so many times. The church of the 4th century, 335 AD, was 3 times bigger. Now, it doesn't look like it, isn't it? Then it looks like we are one of the few that will enter to the church. And we will follow you, Duncan. I forgot to mention it. I even wrote your name in Hebrew, that you will know how to write your name in Hebrew as well. We will do that through the story. We will enter straight to the Golgotha, and we're talking about the Golgotha. There was a main, and the Crusader time, you could enter straight from there to the Golgotha, but later on, or through those 2 doors, but later on, Saladin blocked that place. We cannot go in for there. This is now the Frank chapel. That's where they stripped Jesus from his clothes. Remember the lot that I did? It was there. Let's enter to through the gate, but you must understand that gate looks almost exactly like the Golden Gate at the eastern wall of the city and the temple. Because Duncan, you're British. There's not a lot of British evidence here, except of here. There's a tomb of one of the British who served the British king, I think Philip III, and he is the one who signed the Magna Christi. Forgot his name, but I will mention it in the description. Let's go in. And let's climb up to the Golgotha. We will enter through the Catholic part. Hey, look at that. You can see the Jerusalem cross. We are the only one here. The smell of the incense. For folk, we will deal with a Calvary, Golgotha. Look at the beautiful view. This is the Catholic part. And that's the Greek Orthodox part. This is the same chapel that we saw, the Frank chapel. That's what they stripped him from the clothes. We saw it from the plaza down there. And what you can see here is a few important things. That's where they nail him to the cross. We're talking about part of the Via Dolorosa. Jesus was nailed into the cross. You can see Mary Magdalene anointing his body. And you can see Mary, the mother, and a Roman soldier that just did it. The altar is from the Medici family from Italy, 16th century. And to the left, You can see Mary with the spear in her heart. Well, Mary and the Holy Family actually visited the temple for the first time. At the presentation at the temple, I'm talking about the Jewish temple, we're talking about Jewish family. Saint Simon, a Jewish priest, told her that her son will die in front of her eyes. It will be so emotional. It's like you will feel the pain. It's like a spear will enter through your heart. From that moment, the mother never smiled. And I can understand that mother. This is my worst fear ever. The other side is the crucifixion place. Then before that, let's bless the cross and you will see the chapels closer to you. And another important thing is salvation of the. And although this mosaic is new, only 19th century, because that church was burned down, the oldest mosaic in that church is above you. The Ascension of Jesus. I mean, this is the only one who left in the city from the 12th century. Can you imagine it? Stop it, mother. Oh, she's praying. In front of you, you can see the crucifixion place. That's where Jesus was crucified. To the right, you can see Jesus. John the disciple. To the left, Mary. Well, the mother. While Jesus was on the cross, he asked John to take care of his mother. Without that, Mary couldn't survive. The bedrock of the Golgotha is in front of you. It's covered with a glass, mainly because a lot of tourists, just like me, want to get a piece from it. And you know what will happen soon. In that case, they're protecting it. The only way to touch it is through that table. Just go there, put your hands in the hole, and you will touch the bedrock. On top of Jesus' cross, you will find 4 letters in 3 different languages. Jesus from Nazareth, King of the Jews. This is a sin list. Why that's the sin list? Because the Romans are the only one who can crown someone as a king, and he did it. His name was King Herod. Then in that case, if someone said, I'm the king of the Jews, he deserves to die. He is against the regime. And when you are against the regime, the only way to die is by crucifixion. If you are a simple thief, they will cut your head in less than 1 minute. Let's see it from the front, because there's a beautiful nun praying in front of Mary. I won't talk when I reach the Golgotha, but I will bless Duncan cross there. There's so many scenes from the Passion. Look how beautiful it is. And it's empty because of no tourist, which is sad for me, but it's beautiful for you now. You can feel the holiness here. If you've been here, you know that in regular day it's so crowded you cannot even breathe here. We are actually leaving the Golgotha through the Greek Orthodox exit. And straight to the 20th century mosaic wall. You can see the crucifixion. We've already been here. Jesus was crucified with another two, and just before Friday night, which is Saturday, Joseph of Arimathea, which was a priest, a Jewish priest, but he believed in Jesus secretly because he was afraid to say it, and Dactymanus took down the body of Jesus. They got a permit from Pontius Pilate to bury him, and as a Jew they must bury him at the same day. But before we'll talk about that, look at the Golgotha. The only place that we can actually hear about the place that's called Golgotha is here at the New Testament. The Jews and other Romans inscription never mentioned that word. Maybe it was a nickname for the crucifixion area. There's a lot of bodies, bones there, including skulls. Maybe it looked like a skull, and that is beautiful to see at the Garden Tomb, the second option of the crucifixion. And I don't know. The Bible didn't mention that he was crucified on top of the Golgotha. The Bible mentioned that he was crucified at the Golgotha. Then some of the Christians believe that he was crucified here somewhere. Another thing that you can see in that beautiful mosaic is that Jerusalem, the walls of Jerusalem was there, and this is outside the city, just like the Bible said. Now, as a Jew, they had to purify the body. And here it is. You can see Dactymanus and Joseph of Arimathea. You can see John, and you can recognize John because he is the only disciple without a beard. And he is the only disciples that mentioned in that set scene. Mary the mother, the other Marys, and Mary Magdalene holding the hair. That is one of the symbols of Mary Magdalene. She's the only one that could see her hair. And they wrapped him with a shroud, linen, and buried him before sunset. Why sunset? Because the day, according to the Jewish calendar, until today, begins at sunset. Now it's Thursday at 5 p.m. It's going to be already dark, 1700 hours, and that's going to be already Friday morning. And they bury him in a tomb that was made, that was a cave, a cut rock cave. And we know, according to the book of John, that the Golgotha, which as we believe belongs to the Romans, was so close to the garden of Joseph of Arimathea. That's why he was buried and crucified and buried almost at the same site. You can see the Armenian monk. Just like me and so many others, that stone is so important because the naked body of Jesus touched it. Again, the naked body of Jesus touched it. Is that original stone? Some say no. but the energy of so many believers who touched it is so strong, then I said, it doesn't matter. It's holy and fluid energy, and I'm gonna bless it there as well. Good morning. You see different kind of crosses, different kind of Christian denomination, sharing the same church. Not a bad idea. And there's a lot of oil, and for my fourth latest crosses that I sent to UK and to America a week ago, I can tell you that I blessed it with the oil, and my hand was still smell like anointing oil for 3 days, even though I washed it with a soap a lot of time. And I believe that you will get across with the same amazing smell of the anointing oil. And now, when he is already blessed and cured, they took him to the tomb, and we are looking for a cave. The only problem is that that cave been destroyed so many times. The no cave. Instead of it, you can see the Aedicula, which is a small chapel that been destroyed a few times as well. The last time that chapel been destroyed was at 1808, when the dome was burned down, and it actually destroyed the tomb of Jesus. The tomb is divided into two, and we can see it from here. The first part is the angel chapel, who took care that no one will steal the body of Christ. You can see here the candle. Candle is the most important part of so many Christians, Greek Orthodox, Armenian, because according to them, at Easter, Saturday Easter, holy fire goes all the way down. You see the Armenian priest entering with 2 candles to bless it. They have right here, although it belongs to the Armenians. Then on Easter, Saturday Easter, holy fire goes down straight from Jesus to the Aedicula, and all the candles in the world have been blessed with that holy fire. When I'm lighting candles for you by your own request, and can go to buy me a coffee, and you will see how. It's in my description of that video. I will always do it from the holy fire because I feel the holiness of it. Now the priest is already in the tomb of Jesus. Duncan, here it is. I'm not sure that I will be able to go in with a video. They don't like when I'm doing it. Only a few times they gave me permit to do that. And but I promised Duncan to go in later on and bless it. As you can see, there are no line. Usually the tourists are here, and the line goes all the way around the tomb until the entrance. It's kind of 4 hours line. The priest is leaving now the chapel, Armenian priest. But I want to convince you that it used to be a tomb. Is it okay? I know that it's already 45 minutes. Wow, I'm talking a lot. Still, I want you to see something important. And yes, the tomb, the tomb is empty. A few years ago, they renovated that church, that Aedicula, and they opened the tomb. He is not there. Now look how horrible it is. This is the most important church for so many. This is the Mount Sinai of Christianity. And look at the graffiti. Another thing that you can see here, that it's black. There's evidence from the fire of 1808. And no one maintained it, mainly because they are fighting who owns that chapel. And this is not a chair. This is an altar that was burned down. Why I entered here? I entered here because of that. This is a rock, a curved rock tomb from the time of Jesus. This is how the Jews been buried. And I'm gonna bless it as well. And I'm gonna use the flashlight. And this is one of the presents that I got from one of our subscribers. Say then, if it's dark, why are you not using the flashlight? And I didn't know that I can do that. And now I can, as you can see. You can see here 2 niches, but there are more here. And they used to put the body there, just like they did to Jesus. And let's say if there are 5 tombs here, 5 niches, we call it kuchim. What will happen to the 6th one? We must bury the 6th one as well. But there's no place for him. Then they will open the oldest tomb. They will take the bones out. While I'm talking, I wanted to see the graffiti, and I hope that some of them will see it and they will understand the mistake that he did. Well, they will open the oldest tomb and they will take out the bones. They will put it in a small ossuary and they will bury the dead, the new one, instead of him. Now this is important for us because another reason. Joseph of Arimathea gave Jesus his own tomb that no one used before. No one used before. I think now we can understand that strange sentence, because that chapel, that burial site was used so many times. In that matter, Joseph of Arimathea gave Jesus his own tomb that no one used before. Can you understand the idea? No one used before. It means that might be the tomb of Jesus, which was belonged before to Joseph of Arimathea, and maybe Joseph and Nicodemus built themselves another cemetery next to the master in their own garden, which was close to the Calvary, the Golgotha. Might be. Hey, I can see me. Hello, hello. Then you can understand what's happening here. 49 minutes of a video. If you never saw one of my videos, please subscribe my channel and be part of my family. Thank you very much from the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, and thank you very much, Duncan freeman, who bought that cross and helped me to survive. Thank you.